we have a Richelieu, we have a Lyon, a couple of Pensacola's, 2 Fijis, which will be an interesting challenge, and an Algerie. And the first thing you will notice is that the minimap, yes, hallelujah, thank you Wargaming, we have a minimap that scales all the way up to permit reasonable operation for a 4K display. So the 4K Master Race are now happy, and the well, even us 1440 plebs still have a pretty good size minimap. No more squinting on that one, hallelujah. That's possibly the single most useful feature of 072 so far. So there is the Richelieu class battleship Rouen. I think I'm going to need to tweak the naming slightly. At the moment it's Rouen in the objective marker, and well, I think if she's named for the city, it's actually Rouen, R-O-U-E-N, but it's a little bit of one. However, the first problem we've got are some scout aircraft that are coming in, and they're getting a little too close for comfort. So if these guys get through, you will have to deal with some rather nasty land-based airstrikes. I'm not sure if you can actually take them out successfully, but it is fairly time-limited. Locking on to wave number 2. Really, whoever's on the left-hand side of the convoy really needs to be quick to take these guys out. I was on the wrong side of the convoy, sadly, so I've had to come to a full stop, tuck behind the Rouen, and okay, the last one got away. We're going to have some land-based air support coming in, but our more immediate concern is the first enemy task force, and Boulder is coming up, no doubt accompanied by Sigger and all the others. Brace for massive airstrikes. That's why you bring anti-air cruisers on this one, because yeah. Also, that white circle, yeah, that's a thunderstorm. So consider rolling poor. Well, there's Cyclone and then there's worse than Cyclone, and this is worse than Cyclone. You take an accuracy penalty, visibility goes to nuts, it's 6.5 kilometers, and the stealth fire penalty drops to 5 seconds. So good luck trying to get a persistent targeting solution on anything that's close by. Luckily, however, the AI does not know to lay off the trigger. So rounds out again. Well, that okay, that didn't do much to help the Labour de Mars over there, but oh well, he's gonna take a few hits. Main battery almost reloaded, no point firing on him, so lock onto Carl over there with the T-22, and I'm burning again, yippee. Right, Brackarth's secondaries there, finishing off the Labour de Mars, and ooh, Carl, that looked painful. There he goes. I'm not too worried about losing health at this early stage. There is a repair phase later on. We now have another cruiser wave coming in, and it's coming in from the other side of the convoy. And it's tougher ships. They're being led by a York. Zero that. Rounds down. Miss completely. Thunderstorm. And we are actually now in the storm front, so this is where it starts to get very interesting. Back up to full speed across the convoy. Keep trying to protect the Richelieu and take out those irritating little destroyers. August? Since when was that a name for a German captain? Anyhow. Straight in, and here come the airstrikes. 70 enemy aircraft to be destroyed as a secondary objective. Info tip for the thunderstorm. And pop, got him. Also worth noting that we've got extra bow splashes on the waves, although I'm not sure about the timing. And let's just keep hitting this York. Pop, 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 pop. There we go. The bombers will be coming up, but, well, we've got multiple cruisers covering the battleships, so the bombers that come through aren't going to accomplish all that much if you've got a decent air defense grid. But they do become a nuisance later on. There goes the Gerda. On fire again. That's awkward. And here come the torpedo bombers. So, map engaged. And boom, 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 boom. Right. Enemy aircraft coming in. And then the really angry Germans have shown up. Oh, and they've got torpedoes coming. And this was a bad moment to stop. Ouch. Boom. Yeah. Should not have underestimated that destroyer. He got his torpedoes away. Anyhow, let's follow the rest of it. So, the torpedo bombers have been dealt with. They ran straight into flak from the trailing ships. And now, as noticed, we've got some angry German battleships. There's Tirpitz, a Bismarck, a Gneisenau, and a Scharnhorst. One of each. Nice historical nod there. And the Algerie of Yashak Pasha has got some torpedoes running, so inbound nicely. But Ferdinand, turning, gets the torpedo beat on. Only eats the one, but Alfred eats one as well. Did it hit his steering gear, though? That is the question. Probably not. So yes, the entire German battleship line is out for blood. Well, the modern bit of it at least, but Alfred's taking a pasting down to 14,000, getting lit up left, right and centre. Bisco yells, not again, absolutely. Where's that cat? However, Kuhnel's taking fire. Literally, he's now burning. And there goes the Bismarck. The hood is avenged. Kuhnel ducks behind the island, but he's going to pop out the other side in a minute, and he is about to take a severe beating, which leaves Dagomar and Ferdinand in the Tirpitz. And Dagomar's taking a very aggressive line here. AI's pushing into the flank, but, well, Charlie's got torpedoes, so has Algerie. So unless he turns, he's going to run straight in. Of course, if he turns, he goes bow on, but he's now got focus fire coming in. Did somebody say goodies? Yes, Josh, somebody did say goodies. But we'll follow this one through, because at the moment, well, boom, 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 boom. Yes, it's a good learning tutorial for shoot the destroyers first. It's also a good learning tutorial for you might want to pack hydro, even if air is going to be a major problem. Anyhow, another torpedo coming in. Dagomar eats one on the bow. And, well, the Scharnhorst is learning why you don't necessarily charge a battle line on your own. Burning, flooding, getting focused up by multiple heavies. Unfortunately, in the meantime, Kuno has got his own shots going. Jesse eats one significant hit. He's down to 2,800, but there is going to be a repair phase in the next couple of minutes. So, Dagomar goes down. Jesse, ducking madly away from a 15-inch salvo, manages to keep himself alive. Richelieu's flak is quite outstanding. Yes, but they throw a lot of bombers at her because there's another wave of Luftwaffe death coming in, running straight into Yushak Pasha's defensive fire. Clear this for a second, and yep, there's Stukas. And Yushak taking a lot of high explosive hits there, but getting away with the worst of it. Cat fighters massacring the bombers, and they've been kept away from the convoy again. The Richelieu slowed down, it's dropped its repair bubble. Green circle as always, and if Jersey can get himself back into that, he can heal up a sizable chunk of his damage. But it's Ferdinand who's all that's left of the pride of the Kriegsmarine surface fleet. Yeah, this is going to make the battle of... which was it? I can't remember. However, that one notable engagement which the Kriegsmarine stuffed up so badly that Hitler declared the surface fleet useless and had them mothballed. So, German battleships no longer angry and very, very dead. So, 60 seconds left on the repair bubble, but the Bayern that was somewhere off to the northeast got a shot into Jesse. We're down another cruiser. Still, the Richelieu is making her repairs. Getting a bit lewd with Gabriel there in the Gascon. I think that's a pathing thing. But everyone else is just quickly patching up. It's the usual 300 per second for a cruiser. So Kisrarek getting a good chance there to get himself fixed up, repair the worst of his damage. Not that I can take any advantage of it, of course. I'm dead. And the Thunderstorm's still roaming around. Unfortunately, there's a new mission objective. Attack and destroy the aircraft carrier Adler. And yes, that is a Graf Zeppelin. And yes, it is loaded for strike. So yes, I think we might be about to see the guys, Wargaming, okay, this is just... Okay, it's not actually turned into a three-way, but there's the next problem coming in. a Gator, a Z-23, a Lebrecht Mars, and the Bayern that sank the Fiji from earlier. The problem is, of course, that while these guys are making a run on the starboard side, the main attack group is actually over on the port side. So you have to take these 3 destroyers and the Bayern down very quickly before they can get their torpedoes off, and then immediately switch your attention, because here comes the Luftwaffe's naval arm, and yes, those are coming off a Graf Zeppelin. It's a conga line ranger, yes it most definitely is. However, destroyers are making their run, popping smoke, they don't really need to, but they're also turning to get their torpedoes away. You know, I'm starting to wonder if an Atlanta or a Flint might not be a really good choice for this. Atlanta in particular, because the radar would partially counter the effect of the thunderstorm, and ooh, death. 8 a big side there, but torpedoed in the water. Come on, Kazierek, turn. He's gonna eat 1 boom down to 13,000, and there's no more repairs or healed. Major Luftwaffe forces destroyed. That is 70 enemy aircraft gone. Elmar goes down under a hail of high explosive, but the bombers are coming in, and the bombers are getting absolutely shredded. Evening, Pepino. And you know what? It's a very pretty flak display. Unfortunately, as mentioned earlier, there's the Graf Zeppelin. She's brought friends. Prinz Eugen, Hipper. The Bayern is still on the other side. The Luftwaffe's land bombers, what's left of them, are legging it south. And this is where it can go very badly wrong, because the Richelieu at this point is going to make a port turn and then go fully YOLO for the exit, which means she is going to run the gauntlet of Dirk and Erich's guns as well as Adler's bombers. And if you're not prepared for it, and Yeshak and RNCL arguably aren't because they're trailing stern, she's going to leave you in the dust. Hello Doc, good to see you by the way. So, 1 Bayern coming in from the side, and, well, the main problem is still those cruisers ahead, and they're focusing on Leo and the Charles Martel. And, yep, they brought a destroyer friend or 2 along as well. There's another Lebrecht Mars over to the left, and they've also picked up the Graf Spee. Oh, and the Graf Zeppelin's dive bombers. Ranger, a good question. We know that her torpedo bombers are certainly getting a tweak. So what they do with Graf in a PV side really doesn't mean anything as to what they're going to do with her in PvP. Now the question is, does this Richelieu, is she popping armor piercing? Well, we don't know, because that dive bomber squadron didn't get their bombs away. Here comes the next wave. Come on, 1, 2, 3. Bomb's gone, no significant hit. Next dive bomber wave coming in, again running straight into the shred storm that is the flak. Luckily it seems to be a 203 Graf Zepp. We're not seeing torpedo bombers from her, and Dimar has almost gone down. Rakarth taking the cautious line there, backing off because, yep, Graf Zeppelins pop torpedoes. Down goes the Graf Spee. Unfortunately, physics, thou art a heartless mistress, but, ooh, there we go, some low-speed reverse torpedo beat there. Meanwhile, there's still a Bayern running around the stern of the convoy, and it's attracting quite a lot of fire and getting beaten to a pulp, so Felix is not being particularly lucky there. But the real problem is up front, where John's 12 has got a slight problem in that he's in front of the Rouen, and what's left of his ship is the only thing between the Rouen and 3 angry destroyers. And 1 moderately hacked off destroyer over there who's going to miss the party. So can he do it? 2,000 health, 1,800 health, 1,400. He's got the health to take a sustained gun drill even with German destroyers. And boom, right, torpedoes running. Rouen secondaries. Actually no, Leo takes out Burke. France and Clemens, however, are going for a bracket attack on Rouen, but I think they might be too close for torpedoes. Are we looking at a ramming attack here from Clemens? For the Kaiser! Yep, rammed. Didn't do anything significant. 4 out of 5 enemy battleships dead. Just need to take out the Bayern of Felix in order to finish that secondary. Also need to kill the Graf Zeppelin of Adler, who is now a long way away and out of the thunderstorm, but that just means she's not got the cover of the storm to protect her. There goes the Bayern. Leon finishes the kill there. Rakarth still chasing down the Graf Zepp. He's got until Ruran clears the edge of the map, and then about 30 seconds grace after that. But Chris is ducked behind an island there, so no chance of getting a torpedo shot from him. And if he does pop out, well, he's going to run the gauntlet of a Charles Martel and a Gascon. But there is also a Grash Bay, but I don't think the 203s are going to do very much. The real question is whether or not Adler can survive with a Richelieu beating away on it. Shots are coming down. Adler is offering battle, closing to secondary range, but that may not be wise against a fully armed and, well, mostly operational Richelieu class battleship. Ha ha, Doc, ha ha. Not that I should criticise, considering that I died when I got over greedy in a Pensacola. Anyhow, armour piercing in, 12,500. Secondaries are fully engaged, but the Prince Eugen's looking for damage as well. And ooh, Doc, what were you saying about AI getting better at emulating player behaviour? Thank you, Pudding. Oh dear, yes, Wargaming. Players may not be able to do friendly fire on this, but yeah, that's a 5-star. Thank you so much, Erich. The operation is complete. 4 allied battleships survived, so it counts both players and the AI drones. And Prince Eugen is probably just going to defect to the Americans to cover her shame. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So glad I didn't quit out of that one in a huff. Oh wow, this is going to be interesting. 3 Richelieu class battleships running escort on this convoy, and yes, I think it was the Valentine's mission, and yes, I think it's finished. I'll go with Shuggy there. Right, so let's see what happens this time. Of course, I have torpedoes this time. I also have 8-inch guns, but only 8 of them, so I may need to be a little bit careful here, as well as a lot of flak and some semi-decent range on the secondaries, just not battleship grade. So let's get out, well, not completely in front of the Richelieu. Okay, we've got a starboard run this time, so first things first, position to intercept the scout planes. Just delay off those first 2 waves of land-based air support. Not that I'm suggesting they've been borrowing their mechanics from Concolay or anything. There we go. Come on. Into the box of death you come, guys. And you know what? I'm going to pop a defensive fire, just to really make sure these guys all die. There we go. Yes. It's the map scaling, it's the new operation, they're the headline features. Gascon is in her final version, and I think that it's the usual round of balance tweaking as well. But the main thing for most people on the quality of life will be the... Boom, got it. Okay, will be the map scaling, especially for those people playing at high resolutions. However, the air scouts are down, the land-based air support is gone temporarily. Let's get over and deal with those destroyers. High explosive loaded. Forwards, forwards, forwards. Up to speed. But we're still fairly early in the 072 patch cycle, so there could well be other fun things to come. So there's the Leibrecht Mars, there's the Nuremberg. So far it looks like we're getting the same deployment as we did last time, which means we'll get 1 wave to starboard, another wave to port, the battleships behind us, and then the Bayern and her escorts to the west, and the Adler and her escorts to the north. It'll be nice to see if we get a bit more variety than that, because honestly I'd rather we did, but we'll see. Anyhow, High X coming down. Oh, that looks good. That was very satisfactory. Bit awkward on the actual numbers though, only got 2,000 damage off it. Still, cruiser high explosive, what can you expect? Beyond possibly devastation, Dakar, and the lamentations of their sheep. Boom. 2 down in quick succession. Right, let's focus on the T-22, just quickly kill it before it gets its torpedoes away. Also, try not to get in front of the Pensacola. Okay, his engine's gone, his rudder's gone. That's going to make it more awkward for him to close the range. Which which is fortunate because we still have the other destroyers closing in on the port side. Yeah, it does, but, well, I suppose one North Atlantic storm looks much like the others. Right, there we go. Lock guns port side this time. Stand by, armour piercing. I think if I can get broadside shots on the York, it will help. Also, dump torpedoes, because hey, why not? Okay, you only get 3 of them, and the performance ain't great, but every little helps, especially when it's exploding the enemy. Also lock secondaries onto the York for extra funsies. Right. And okay, still holding reasonably well, and Thunderstorm shielding us. Guns clear. Let's see if that York has smelt torpedo, or if it smelt cruiser grade armor piercing. Come on, come on. Yoink. And yes, it smelt armor piercing, but it's probably not going to help. It's taking a fairly severe battering anyway. Secondaries are engaged. Aim high on that salvo. Switch to high explosive for the next reload. And then don't bother because Freydol's getting in range as well. Okay. Boom, Freydol's gone, and lock onto T-22. August coming in. The battleships will be right behind us. Did that ship get its torpedoes away? That's the key question. Well, that one probably didn't. So the enemy have exploded in most satisfactory fashion, but SVV's taken us very... Oh wow, here come the Germans, and they are not very happy. We have wrecked all their little friends. Brace yourself, for what if it had ever happened would have been the single most epic naval confrontation of the Battle of the Atlantic. The Kriegsmarine High Seas Fleet, the French Force d'Atlantique, 2 fleets enter and only 1 fleet leaves. That may be a slight exaggeration, but welcome to the Thunderdome. Also lock secondaries. Have I reloaded torpedoes yet? Yes, I have. Right, lock Bismarck. Launch. Actually lock the Bismarck this time. Torpedoes are running, and as expected, Bismarck's turned in to cut into the channel. Come on. Boom. Got one. AI's not entirely perfect when it comes to dodging torpedoes then, but I'm staring right down Biscuit's 15-inch gun, so turn away hard. You know what, I think I'm close enough that armor piercing's going to punch through her upper belt. Oh, got lucky there. Dodged at just the right moment. Unfortunately, the Scharnhorst and the... Ouch! Oh, hello, Scharnhorst. Hello, Gneiss now. You're not very happy to see me, are you? Okay, dodge the worst of that. Stern on, so hopefully bouncing some of it. Yes, that would constitute... I think in naval parlance, this constitutes surprise butt sex. Yeah, getting some decent damage off the high explosive. I can, of course, use Richelieu's repair zone in a moment to dodge the worst of the outgoing. There we go, got her. Unfortunately, the Tirpitzers will come behind, so torpedo launch there. And torpedo launch into the Gneiss now as well. Also, switch to high explosive. And I actually need to make a turn in a second, or... Okay, the Gneisenau's had it. Torpedoes! Yep. Come on, dodge that! Right, okay, defensive formation in, and we're actually in the right position for it at the moment, but we still have the Tirpitz to deal with. So, crank back, and just finish her off with high explosive. Won't need much. Boom. Done. Right, so, time to start patching up, and Flying Monkey Joe's in even worse shape than I am. Oh, wow. Also, Das Boot, yes. Very Das Boot. Okay. Favourite naval movie? Yeah, Dust Boot's a good one. Above Us the Waves, Run Silent, Run Deep, Tora, really just any of them. Unfortunately, we have just lost the one of our Richelieus, so we cannot lose another battleship. This is going to get tricky because someone's got to go and fight that Bayern and all its little destroyer friends. Also, someone else has got to get north and intercept the little destroyer friends there, because that's how we lost the 5-star last time. Yeah, pop the speed boost. We have a bit of work to do. And we cannot lose Runic, or we lose another secondary. Battle of Midway is good. Sink the Bismarck, of course. Basically, any naval war movie, I would say, done between 1950 and 1970 is probably at least worth a look. Also, The Hunt for Red October, if you want something a bit more modern. Okay, still got back up to full health, which is no bad thing, considering this is about to get bloody. Okay, locked secondaries. Okay, that's one destroyer gone. Time to pick up the next one. Boom. And then the next one. Oh, torpedo beats. No. Fix. Well, at least I was back to full health. That's another torpedo wave coming in. More torpedo beat. And that's a dead destroyer. Right. That just leaves the Bayern to deal with. Torpedoes running. Secondaries engaged. Time to make that dash to the north. Also, time to run very fast because that Bayern might be looking my way. Still, torpedoes are in, but he's seen them. There comes the AI psychic turn, but it's not going to save Felix, who is taking an absolute pasting. Au revoir, monsieur. You will not be missed. Unfortunately, we also now have aircraft coming in. The land-based air support finally turned up. So harder starboard. The problem is they are going to run something of a gamble here. But interestingly, we have to take out 35 enemy aircraft this time, so just put defensive fire to disrupt them. And we should be able to catch the worst of their attack as it comes in. Also protect against the Graf Zepp's initial strike. Unfortunately, now the next thing I have to do is that mad dash north, cover the exit, and try and stop the worst of the destroyers with a half-health cruiser. And yes, this is the test server, Norse. Cold War. Norse. Cold War, yes. Right, full forwards. Oh, here come the dive bombers. Doesn't matter, I've still got some defensive fire and some cat fighters up. Hopefully they'll be suitably aggressive. Boom, yep. Unfortunately, Adler kind of wants me dead at this point. There's Prince, there's Hipper. Yeah, it looks like we're getting the exact same deployment we did last time. Sort of, which means that I can anticipate the enemy destroyers turning up at the exit point and blap them there. Also, I can start lobbing high explosive into pudding. Any thoughts on the op so far? It's an interesting bit of mayhem. They probably need to throw some more randomization into it. I mean, if they start randomizing the loadout of the Adler, for example, giving it the option to take a 1-2-1 setup instead of the 2-0-3 it usually carries, and making it a bit more aggressive, then that's going to shift an emphasis onto air defense. Randomizing some of the destroyer packs wouldn't be a bad idea either. The fact that I can predict that I'm going to get a destroyer pack turning up at this corner to jump the Rouen is fairly predictable, but other than that, I'm liking it. with the 3 or 4 goes through I've had so far. I just have to deal with this pack of destroyers. Okay, clearing the storm front. So there goes the advantage of concealment. I should perhaps have kept on using the storm to give me an edge there, because now I have a lot of German destroyer high explosive coming my way and they're not very happy to see me. Hello T-22, yes I see you. Oh yes, I see you. In fact, lots of secondaries. I would prefer I did not want to see you anymore if you don't mind. Also, dump a torpedoes, but just give you something to think about. Yeah, the real problem is that you've got to, on this version of the map, is that you have got to kill these destroyers really, really quickly. So I think Atlanta might be a little bit OP in this scenario. Seriously? So much for that legendary AI torpedo beat. Of course, I'm about to get stuck between a rock and a hard place, but I can protect Lahore. Let us valiantly interpose our... Actually, no, let's not valiantly interpose ourselves between the torpedoes and the ship. The ground step's gone. Target secondaries. Never thought a cruiser would need to take manly secondaries, but there you go. Sometimes you've just got to deal with a lot of very irritating small boats. And you really have got to take these guys down fast before they can get a squadron through. And we've also got air defense coming in, so pop the last air defense. Finish that destroyer, there we go. Oh, crash tester and natural selection. Yeah. I've no idea what all of those involved, but at least we took out the worst of the... Oh, excuse me, Crash Bay, you do not get to sneak round the rear entrance. Yes, Celeric, it is weird. However, we do just need to defend the Rouen, keep her in one piece. Survival is a secondary objective for us cruisers at this point. However, the battleships have got to make it away. And at the moment, that could be troublesome. The torpedoes are clear, so the Rouen... Looks like the German destroyers did not get the salvo away they did last time, because we have still got that T-22 going, but he is... Yeah, actually, they might get a shot, because the Rouen takes a couple of minutes to leave once it clears the map border, and we can't intervene once that happens. I don't think the Germans have got the range. Ranger, go over to the Wargaming store, and you'll have an option for redeeming your codes there. Just pop the code in, and it should automatically credit your account. Just make sure it's the EU store, if that's your primary server, because they are separate stores, and the code will only work once. Okay, secondaries. Why is the Emerald so bad? Because it's a floating citadel, and also because it is a test to weed out the unworthy, those who may not handle the full power and majesty of His Majesty's light cruisers. I think I used majesty a few too many times in that sentence. Only those who are worthy will pass. And only those who are worthy will wield the awesome. Or it's possible that it's just a very, very bad ship, which is basically a floating citadel with no armour. But I prefer the first explanation. If you can handle the Emerald, frankly, you have pretty much mastered every skill you need to handle the British light cruisers. Boom. And I think we are clear. 3 battleships away, the Rouen is away with some minor scrapes to her paintwork. All it needs now is for Ghost and Runic to not die, and we have forced our way through. The only survivor, once again, is the hipster, who is sitting back, having a smoke, just enjoying the scene, dealing with those negative waves, man. Negative waves. So, yeah. Okay. Once you know what's going to happen, this is pretty solid. Crash test at any port in the storm. Is this for running aground or hitting somebody in a thunderstorm? Oh dear. Yes, although it has to be said, Emerald can do some very nasty things to battleships with those 8 torpedo tubes aside, if you survive long enough to actually launch.